Welcome back, Star Wars fans, to episode 129 of Ronald's Reviews, and on today's episode, am I a focus collector? Cue the march. Welcome back, everyone. Now, like I said in the intro, today I am posing the question to myself and to you guys: am I a focus collector? Now, this is something that's been mentioned to me quite a few times since I've been on YouTube, but I want to give a big shout out first to Tim over at Boss Bounty, because it was Tim who suggested this video. He got in touch with me and said he felt it would make a good video, and I've just been trying to figure out a way to approach it, so thank you, Tim. It was a fantastic suggestion. But yeah, it's something that's been mentioned to me in the past. Now, I have numerous vintage Star Wars figures, but one figure in particular that I have quite a number of. So today we're going to look at those figures and decide once and for all, am I a focus collector? And there we go, everyone. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of a weakness for vintage Luke Bespin. Now, this is my second favourite figure as it happens. Now, everyone thinks because I've got so many of these, it's my favourite vintage figure. Boba Fett is actually my favourite vintage figure, but the reason why I pick up far more Luke Bespins than I do Boba Fett is because he's like a quarter of the price. You can get sort of 4 Luke Bespins to 1 Boba Fett, so I always find them cheap and I always feel I've got to pick them up. So, but I absolutely love this figure, I really do. And I think my initial love of this figure comes from Empire Strikes Back. Now, Empire Strikes Back is my favourite Star Wars movie of all time, and that's just based on, I think it's just got everything. It's a cinematic masterpiece. It has got everything. It's got the Hoth battle, it's got Yoda and Dagobah, it's got Cloud City, first appearance of Boba Fett originally, of course. I know we do now see him in New Hope. Vader tells Luke he's his father. Luke gets his hand cut off. Han gets put in carbonite, and it's not scared to end on a sad ending. You know, I love the fact that it wasn't afraid to end badly. You know, Luke's been defeated by Vader, Han has been shipped off to Jabba the Hutt. I just think it is an amazing movie, absolutely perfect in my opinion, and I think that has sort of aided my obsession with vintage Luke Bespin figures. I just think they are amazing. I love how they look, the simplicity, and I think they just display amazingly well. So that is why I've got so many. So as you can see, Luke Skywalker in Bespin Fatigues was originally released in May 1980. Now it says variations, blonde hair and brown hair. Well, there's certainly more than that, I can tell you. And the first card it was released on was an Empire Strikes Back 31 back. I just think it's a fantastic figure, I really do. But like I say, on that bio card it gives us 2 different hair colours. Well, there was definitely more. There was certainly 7, maybe even 8, depending on how you class them. As you look at the image there, we've got from left to right, so we've got straw hair, so straw colour. Then we've got light yellow, yellow. Then we've got ochre. Is that ochre? I don't know what that colour is. I'll be honest, I've never heard of it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Then we've got orange, mustard or beige, so it depends if you class them as 2 or the same. And then brown, so certainly 7, if not 8, and probably more, some people will argue. So there's so many different variations of this guy. There's different face sculpts, so as you can see, some slightly more elongated, some are more square. The jawline is often very different, as well as I think that the eyes and the eyebrows are often different as well. So many different hair colours, face sculpts. Like I say, the eyes are very different as well, but you've got other variations as well, such as on some the lightsaber is attached to Luke's belt, on others it's not attached. You've got different boot colour, then you've got so many other things such as different COOs, you've got raised bars, so many different things, and that's before you get to things like Lily Leddy and PBP. The list goes on. It would be a nightmare, in my opinion, to try and get every single variation.
I can imagine.
And that's before different card backs. Now, again, as you can see from the background, I'm also partial to a card back. I mean, the list is just never ending, and again, that is all before we then get to the Retro Collection Edition, which we've received in the last couple of years. So it's certainly plenty to go at if you are collecting Luke Bespin. But I just love the simplicity, and that's kind of, all those things told, are kind of what pulled me towards Luke. So as you can see, we've got quite a few on the table. Now, I'm not going to touch these guys because they're displayed nicely, and the slightest touch they will drop their blaster and lightsaber without a doubt. So I've got 4 guys at the front there that we're going to take a look at. And we're going to take a look at them a little bit more closely. So let me just bring them up to the camera. So let's start with this guy. So there we go. Now, are we going to focus? Okay, not that great, but so when we look at him closely, what would you class that guy? So if we look at his face sculpts and his hair colour, if it's going to focus, So would I class that as brown hair? Looking at his eyebrows, I don't know if it would be brown or if that would be classed as mustard or beige. I mean, this is what I mean. I am never confident that I am identifying these right, depending on the hair colour, etc. But I would say probably mustard / beige. Looking at his eyes as well, I think that is probably the correct one. But I just love the figure. And the beauty of Luke Bespin as a vintage figure is you don't have to worry about any paint rub on his body and on his outfit, because I don't know if this isn't focusing very well, is it? The beige plastic that he's made out of, that's the colour of the actual plastic, that's not paint. So whilst they do fade and tend to go a different colour, you never have to worry about paint. So it's generally paint loss on the hair, belt and boots on this guy, and obviously his hands as well. So what would we say this guy is? So is he... I think this is my favourite one. So I think we would class this as straw hair. I mean, I always say it's light pale yellow, but this is my favourite face sculpt and favourite hair colour. And what I love about this guy, it's a really strange one, but I think his eyebrows make him look a little sad. But I like the pale yellow, and I think that face sculpt is the best one. I really do love it. And that is the attached lightsaber, as you can see. And again, he actually looks like he's got 2 different colours on his boots there, doesn't he? But sorry, the white balance is off, guys. My camera adjusts itself every time we get something up close, and you'll see the light fluctuate, so I apologise. And then we've got this guy, so he's in a pretty bad shape, unfortunately, this guy. So he's got quite a lot of paint missing on his belt and his sabre, and on his hair as well. But what would I class this guy as? So is he... Now, I'm tempted to say orange, but I don't think it is, because he's very hard to get. I don't think this is that guy. Come on, focus. So again, would this be mustard or beige? I'm not sure. They're so similar at times, I'm never quite sure. Yeah. And then, to finish, now this one is the retro collection. So, how good a job have they done? Yeah, I mean, I don't think they've done a bad job. His features are certainly softer than the originals. Holds his sabre and his blaster better as well. But I think they've done a pretty good job with that. Yeah, and I've picked up a few of those as well. I mean, when you find them at £10, we know the cards are poor, but I think you've definitely got to pick him up. Oh, there we go. Blaster's gone. Can we get it back in? Will he hold it? Yeah. The retro collection do tend to hold their weapons slightly better than the vintage ones. Okay, so like I said earlier on in the video, what I love about this figure, it's the simplicity. I think it displays amazingly well. You never have to worry about paint rub on his body, because it's the colour of the plastic, which is the colour of his outfit. So you've always got to think about, obviously, paint on his hair, paint on his belt and sabre, hands and boots, but generally, you know, they usually hold up okay. I mean, I have got a few where the hair is really poor. I have touched up a couple myself. Generally, I try to leave them. But yeah, I just love the figure, and I will continue to keep collecting it. So, but like I said, the point of this video really was not just to show the figures that I've got, and obviously the 2 at the back. I love the one in the GW acrylic case, by the way. That is original weapons and original card, and I just think for someone like me it's a really good way of displaying vintage figures with a card back without having to buy mock figures, because I just can't afford that. But the question I wanted to ask myself really, and you guys, the viewers, is: am I a focus collector? And the thing is with focus collecting, I believe that is based on all the variations that I mentioned earlier, you know, different hair colour, different boot colour, lightsaber attached or non-attached. You know, there's so many different things when it comes to variations for Luke Bespin. Now, what I'd like to invite everyone to do, the way I'm going to decide this is I want everyone that wants to leave a comment after they watch the video, if you feel like you want to, just put somewhere in your comment a yes or a no to whether you think I am or aren't a focus collector. But I also want you to put your reasons why. And then what I plan to do is I'm going to give it around a week, and then I'm going to tot up the answers of yeses and nos, and depending on which one has the most, that is what I'm going to class myself as. I'm going to put out a community post and give out the results. So, but I'm going to go first. So I'm going to ask myself, do I class myself as a focus collector? And my answer is... And that's because I don't focus on variations. You know, I believe real focus collectors collect certain figures based upon the variations. So I think it's an attempt to try and get a particular figure in every different variation. Now, people that do army building, and I think army building is slightly different, you know, when you see people collecting stormtroopers, TIE pilots, in theory I guess that is focus collecting, but I understand the reason why they do that, because in the films, you know, you got lots of stormtroopers, lots of TIE pilots, so the army build. Whereas I see focus collecting is when you're collecting multiple of one particular character and figure, so like Luke Bespin. But I think focus collectors chase the variations, you know, different hair colour, different boot colour, COOs, raised bar, PBP, in an attempt to get every different variation of this figure. Now, I don't do that, and that's the reason why I don't class myself as a focus collector, because I buy Luke Bespins based on two facts, and that's it. Price, is it cheap or is it cheap enough? And condition. That is all I base it on. That is all I base my purchases on when it comes to Luke Bespin. Is it a good price and how good a condition is he in? I don't in any way focus on hair colour, boot colour, lightsabers, etc. That's why I don't class myself as a focus collector, because I don't focus on variations. I just buy him because I like him, and if he's cheap and in good condition, I'll buy it. So my answer is no, I don't see myself as a focus collector, but I want you to jump in the comments and tell me if you agree or disagree, and tell me why, and then I'm going to tot up the answers at the end, and then I'll put a community post out, and then I will honour whatever the answer to that post is. So yeah, there we go. A bit of a short one today, but I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by and giving me a shot. I hope you'll consider leaving a like and subscribing. And if you're one of my existing viewers and existing subscribers, thank you for sticking with me, everyone. I really do appreciate it. Leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. I always try to read everyone's comments and get back to everybody. And as always, keep collecting. I'll see you next time.